Hey, good morning. This is the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority regular board meeting for October 27th, 2023. The board did meet this morning in executive session to discuss some policies and strategies going forward. And no votes were taken on any resolutions. We'll begin with a roll call. Deb?
Ms. McCormick Barron. Here. Mr. Bay. Here. Mr. Doма.
Here.
Ms. Lever. Mr. Martin.
Present.
Dr. Morrell.
Here.
Mr. Shuley.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger. Here. 7 members are present.
Very good. Do we have any speakers for public comment?
We do not have any signed in speakers for public comment.
All right, thank you. We'll move to the approval of the meeting minutes of September 22nd, 2023. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the approving the minutes of September 22nd, 2023, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the minutes
Abstain.
are approved. Next topic is the confirmation of CEO approvals. All CEO approvals from the prior month are confirmed. We'll move to reports and updates. Begin with the finance department. Kevin. You're a star yesterday and now you're here at the board meeting.
Good morning, members of the PWSA board. Within the finance report, you will see a year-to-date receipts through September 30th, 2023 of 151.2 million or 73.2% of the total budget. Approximately 16.4 million was collected in September as compared to the budgeted amount of 18.1 million, representing a difference of 1.7 million. This shortfall is attributable to weaker than expected water collections. However, the Department of Finance is projecting that the water collections will recover during the last quarter of the year. Total forecasted year-end receipts, excluding the budgeted $4.5 million transfer from the rate stabilization fund, are $206.5 million. This represents a decrease of $177,000 or negative 0.9% as compared to the budget. The transfer from the rate stabilization fund is no longer planned due to stronger than expected financial performance. Year to date, department operating expenditures are $83.6 million, which is 70.7% of the total annual budget. $69.6 million in debt service costs have been paid year to date, which is 90.9% of the total budget. Forecasted year-end debt service is projected to be $73 million, or about $3.5 million lower than the annual budget. The bulk of this savings is attributable to the bond transaction completed earlier this year. PWSA's cash balance on September 30th, 2023 was $80.5 million, which is $11.7 million higher as compared to the prior year. In addition, year-to-date capital expenditures are $74 million. Lastly, I would like to note that we are in the thick of our budget season at PWSA as it relates to the 2024 operating budget and 2024 through 2028 capital improvement plan. These budgets will shape the priorities of the organization for the upcoming year. Board education sessions will be held with the PWSA Board of Directors prior to the approval of the 2024 operating budget during the November board meeting and the 2024 through 2028 capital improvement plan during the December board meeting. It is at this time I will turn it over to the board to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Paulus? I thought the budget preview we had yesterday was very good. I know we're also going to shortly be sending that presentation to board members who were not able to attend, but certainly I'll encourage all board members to ask you questions if they have any questions between now and when we have this formally on the board agenda in November.
Yep, absolutely. Feel free to reach out. Happy to help in any way.
All right. Thank you. Move to the engineering department, Mr. King.
Good morning, Chair Shuley and members of our board. I will begin with a update on our drinking water programs. So our lead service line replacement programs continue to progress well. A total of 10,512 public and 7,369 private side lead service lines have been replaced through October 18th. The PennVest funded 2023 B neighborhood lead service line replacement program is gearing up, where today we will be asking you for your approval to award the CMCI contract. We also recently received bids for the construction, with a total of 7 construction firms submitting bids, 2 of which are new bidders to PWSA. That's a positive sign. The low bidder is one of those 2 firms, another positive. We will be coming to the board in November with an award recommendation for that project. Our scheduled closing with PennVest is in late January 2024, and we expect construction on this project to start in February. The PWSA team has continued to look ahead to the upcoming lead and copper rule revisions, otherwise known as the LCRR. These requirements will take effect 1 year from now. We are gearing up to meet the service line inventory requirements, as well as planning for the required school and daycare sampling, completing the evaluation of the impacts of the LCR compliance sampling, and evaluating the other provisions of that regulation. I did want to note we're also tracking the upcoming lead and copper rule improvements, the LCRI, which we expect EPA to announce a draft of it. And I think just lost that. There we are. Next, I'll update on the progress being made on our construction efforts for the water reliability plan related projects. The Highland Reservoir Pump Station Supply and Rising Main project is nearing substantial completion, where we are anticipating completing the remaining construction scope of work by Halloween, October 31st, with closeout items that will continue into November. Rising Main 4 replacement and rehabilitation project is also nearing substantial completion. All of the water main construction and tie-ins are substantially complete as of this time, with the final items to be addressed in November. We are on schedule to submit the certificate of construction completion, clearly in advance of the COA deadline of January 14th, 2024. The award recommendations for the Highland Reservoir Pump Station construction project, specifically including the general contract as well as the electrical contract and the professional services agreement for construction management and inspection, will be brought to the board today. The design and permitting efforts continue on the remaining WRP projects, including the asphalt pump station, the Brecken pump station improvements, and the Clearwell emergency response, which is the Clearwell bypass projects. The construction permit application for the ABC projects, as we refer to those 3, are actively being reviewed by the PADEP, who has sent PWSA an acceptance letter on October 18th. Confirming that the permit application was deemed administratively complete and that it was entering the technical review phase. So we do anticipate we will have questions coming up. As for procurement activities for engineering and construction, please note that bids for the sludge chamber project, the general mechanical, as well as the electrical contracts are due by October 31st at 2 p.m. We will be rebidding the Haverhill Street stormwater improvements on November 2nd, 2 p.m. Bids for the asphalt pump station concrete floor repairs are due November 9th at 1 p.m. Bids for the Dragoon Way stormwater improvements project are due on November 9th as well at 2 p.m. And the rebids for the Lanford Reservoir Booster Disinfection Improvements project, rolls off the tongue, HVAC and plumbing contracts are due on November 16th at 2 p.m. This concludes engineering and construction's October report. I'll turn it back over to the board for any questions you may have.
As usual, you have a lot going on, as is demonstrated by that report. Any comments or questions from Mr. King?
Yeah, a comment and a question. Congratulations as always. I think what you're doing is an exemplar for the nation. Do you have a feel for do you have a preview of what the LCRI changes will be?
We have heard discussions. We are aware of elements in we can predict what we feel will be in that draft document, but we'll continue to track it as it does get released, but we have an anticipation.
The one item that I'm aware of that's potentially in there is performing full lead service line replacements at no direct cost to the customer, which is something we have been doing since 2018 or so. So that, to my knowledge, is a really big one. The other that is looming out there potentially is a requirement to replace all lead service lines by a specific date, even if your water quality is in compliance. So those are the two big issues that are on the, for some utilities, a concern. For us, you know, we're already performing the full replacements at no cost, and our plan is to get it all completed by 2026.
And what is the schedule for that to be finalized?
Not aware.
The proposal is supposed to be released next month, and then it will go through a public comment process, and then they will respond to those comments and potentially finalize the LCRI.
So in the next months, we could have a new.
Yeah, we'll have a better sense of what the proposal is, but we will, sorry, just to belabor things a bit, there is a revision that is going into effect next year. So what Barry is referring to is a second revision under the Biden administration. They've looked to strengthen the rule more so than what will already go into effect, new requirements in 2024.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, Barry. Next, the Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer Report, Mr. Sadari.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, three things that I wanted to just share with the board this morning. The first one is we're getting close to the end of the year, so we're in the fourth quarter. And as such, we're underway with a series of audits and assessments that we do for all of our facilities. This is the third year in a row that we've been conducting these audits and assessments. And the audits are being done by a third party or an independent auditor that was accepted by the EPA previously. So we have an outside entity that's coming in to perform this work. The field portion of our water treatment plant audit was completed this week. So Monday and Tuesday, we had a brief closeout on Wednesday, and they will be working to get that report put together here sometime toward the end of the month, well ahead of our January deadline that we have for completing that audit. We will then be moving on to conducting assessments at about 13 of our other field locations. So we go out beyond the water treatment plant to take a look at various things. So these assessments are focused on environmental compliance, as well as drinking water compliance and workplace safety. The objective of doing all these audits and assessments is to help just kind of review where we stand with current environmental and safety practices and identify any gaps or potential for gaps so that PWSA can address those proactively. These audits also help raise awareness of some of the regulatory responsibilities, changes, and challenges that may have occurred over the last year to evaluate our facilities actually against environmental, regulatory, as well as workplace safety requirements. And probably just as important as all of those is to help maintain, ensure that we have systems in place to maintain our programs going forward, right? We want to make sure that we're continually moving our environmental compliance and safety efforts in a forward manner. And these assessments provide an important feedback to us to help that, to help ensure our programs remain effective. The second update is a little bit regarding our environmental compliance training programs that we have. We've scheduled training for key staffs with, again, a third-party subject matter expert. So bringing in some folks from the industry to help educate our staff. The ones that we are undertaking right now is training on our above-ground storage tanks. We have over 100 storage tanks in our system to manage all of our chemicals and fuels. Underground storage tank training, as well as DOT hazardous materials training, which includes RCRA training for small quantity generators. This is associated with how we handle and manage waste to make sure that we're doing so appropriately and in accordance with the requirements. We've also been continuing our Monday tailgate sessions for our treatment plant as well as field operations staff. I've spoke to you about those before. Most recently, we've been covering topics such as spill response, paint waste storage, treatment plant chemicals, sanitary drains. We implemented a new program to make sure we have spill kits on our work vehicles so that they're out at job sites with us, as well as reminders about the ability to stop work or raise concerns. And finally, last item is I wanted to let the board know that in October, PWSA Sustainability Manager, James Stitt, moved into the Environmental Compliance Department, reporting directly to me. Sustainability is a key component of our mission and core values, and especially the one where, you know, our core value of stewardship, which states that we are providing essential and dependable water services, not only now, but also for future generations. We need to think about sustainability as we implement that core value. There's a number of synergies we have between environmental compliance and sustainability. And some of the recent conversations and discussions I've had with James touch on things such as solar power and energy management, recycling and beneficial reuse of how we're handling some of our waste products, stormwater items, as well as system resiliency to address climate change. So I look forward to continuing to work with James here, and likely as we have some of these initiatives keep coming forward, I'll work them into some of my updates for the board in the future. And that's all I have for you today, but I always like to remind everybody, if there's questions on compliance or ethics from the board, our employees or our contractors, to reach out, and I'd be happy to address them. So, thank you.
Where did James report to before? I forgot.
James was previously within the engineering department,
Within the
so
engineering
reporting up
department.
through
Okay.
there.
All right. That kind of makes sense here with some of the programs that you have going and so forth. So yeah, that seems to be a good fit. Good. Any other comments or questions for Mr. Saderi? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, Chief Executive Officer's report.
Well, good morning, members of the board, PWSA staff, public and consultants in the room with us today. Unfortunately, I'm going to begin my remarks on a sad note. I'm going to share Steve Presley, who is a fellow colleague and longtime PWSA employee, passed away on October 19th. Steve actually joined PWSA in May 2001 as a laborer, served many roles, and worked his way up to a leak detection specialist in 2017. He was based out of our Brilliant Yard. He was a team player. He was well liked by his colleagues. He worked hard for our customers, trying to find those pesky leaks. And he will really be remembered for his dedication to his community and his colleagues, and the positive outlook that he brought to work every day. So please do keep in mind Steve and his family, as well as our team out at Brilliant Yard, who are certainly grieving here in these last few weeks. Shifting gears, I am very pleased to report back from the AMWA Executive Management Conference. AMWA is the Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies. So these are the other public drinking water utilities based out of cities large and small. A lot of the big cities are there. Conference had a lot of informative sessions. I was actually joined by our Chief Legal Officer, Monica Whalen, who traveled with me to the conference. PFAS, the new lead and copper rule revisions, which is why that was front of mind for me, Jim. I think the high point was that PWSA received one of the first ever equity awards given out by AMWA, which I have handy right here. And we were recognized, not surprisingly, for the approach that we are taking with our lead service line replacement program in terms of how we plan and prioritize that work, and the community engagement that we take upon each lead service line replacement project. So was very proud to receive one of those very first awards. Obviously, the kudos goes to our whole lead help team, the public affairs team, for writing the application, which we were urged to apply for. So I do have to say, we were creating a reputation. It was recognized. We were urged to apply for it and did receive that award. So extremely proud of the continual affirmation that we're getting for our work in lead service line replacement and our approach on equity in what we do, which is another one of our 5 core values. So it's being demonstrated, it's being recognized nationally, and the board of directors certainly can take a lot of credit for that recognition. Speaking of equity and getting us to a point where we're able to receive awards like this, I want to welcome Jamil Bey, who is our newest board member. This is his first board meeting, and Jamil and I have worked together for the last few years on the Pittsburgh Water Equity Task Force and learning teams through the U.S. Water Alliance, and we're very excited to have him now as an official member of PWSA's leadership here on our board. So Jamil, welcome officially, and we're looking forward to having you as a part of our team. I also want to flag that PWSA last month has started a series of tours and engagements with our high water users. So we had representatives from the zoo and aquarium as well as UPMC visit our treatment plant. Frank was our tour guide. We had members from the operational team, BJ McFadden and his team, interact with those leadership teams, generally trying to get our large water users to understand some of our future projects, just the basic water treatment process, and just to get to know us better if there are issues related to service outages, construction, development, et cetera. So those meetings both went very well last month, and we're aiming to complete more throughout this year and into next. So I think it's a really worthwhile initiative for us to engage those large water users and critical customers. So with that, we have a full agenda, so I'll wrap up here and happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions or comments for Will?
Congratulations. Was this the only recognition for equity?
There were 2 other utilities that were also recognized in that category.
Any other questions? Yeah, congratulations. Well, I want to extend on behalf of the board, our welcome to Jamil as well. Happy to have you on board. Looking forward to meeting you in person. And at this time, Jamil, will give you an opportunity if you want to address the board or our meeting in any way.
And I'm, from a hotel room in Atlanta. It would be nice to be at my first board meeting in person, but that didn't work out. I'm looking forward to this. As Will said, I've been working with Will since at least 2016 on some of these issues, and I know some of the folks in this room. These are all issues, related to my work, related to, the work that we're trying to do in the city, make Pittsburgh a more just and equitable and sustainable region. And I'm looking forward to working with you all on that journey.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to resolutions. We'll start with resolution number 56. Kevin, I take it you're sitting in here for Mr. Barca.
It's correct. I have big shoes to fill. Resolution number 56, approving the financial assistance application to be submitted to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority for the 2024 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Program in the amount of $34,880,000.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
You? Any discussion? Congratulations. Big chunk of money. Happy to see that coming in and adding to the list of Penn Best loans and grants that we've had. So very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All in favor of resolution number 56, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 56 is approved. Resolution number 57. Mr. BJ McFadden, welcome.
Good morning. Resolution number 57, approving the award of water and sewer inventory supplies to Bingham and Taylor Corporation, EJ USA Incorporated, Ferguson Waterworks, LB Water Services Incorporated, and Sitco Water. This is out of the operating budget in an amount not to exceed $13,016,269.92.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim, any discussion?
Yeah, I just want some clarification of the language in there about the other firms intent with their intent not to participate. It just was some odd language. I just wanted some context behind what that is referring to and how it affected the decisions concerning the recommended contract.
I would have to get back to you on that. I don't have that
Okay.
information in front of me.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't remember seeing that language of either people met it or not refusing to participate in sort of what that meant. So if you could provide some background so that I can understand it moving forward, that'd be really helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 57, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Hi.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, Resolution number 57 is approved. Start with resolution number 58 and the Barry King epic.
Thank you. Resolution number 58 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for construction management, construction inspection services for our 2023 neighborhood LSLR. It's Penvest funded, contract to project to AECom in the amount of $1,287,498.56. This resolution is for the approval of these services, which addresses the verification of service line materials, the replacement of our LSLRs, and related restoration work in various neighborhoods throughout the city of Pittsburgh. As a reminder, I just want to note that this project had received a $10 million grant from Penvest. Finally, regarding supplier diversity, it's positive to note AECom submitted a commitment goal of 59.5% on this project. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Erica. Any discussion? All in favor of resolution number 58, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 58 is approved. Resolution number 59, Barry.
Resolution number 59 is a
I'm sorry,
request.
are you gonna take these as a group?
I can do them separately or as a, do we want to do it as a?
You can just do it separately. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
So resolution 59 is a request for the board's approval of an award of a capital contract for construction of the Highland Reservoir Pump Station project, the general contract to PJ Dick Incorporated in the amount of $26,935,000. The upgrades associated with this project are an important piece of our water reliability plan. Staff recommends the board approve this award.
Good, thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussion? Well, I'm really happy to see that this project has come this far and we're making an award following our vote. So congratulations. All those in favor of resolution number 59, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution 59 is approved. Resolution number 60.
Resolution 60 is a request for the board's approval of the capital contract for the construction of the Highland Reservoir Pump Station project's electrical contract to Wright Electric Incorporated in the amount of $7,880,777. The electrical contract is for all of the addressing of the electrical scope associated with the general contract for the new pump station. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Audrey. Any discussion? I'm wondering why we don't have the other separation of contracts with, HVAC, plumbing, or why didn't, I was expecting to see sort of 4 of these. you know?
Yeah, they were bid out separately. They fell under the threshold for the approval that the board needed to
Okay.
provide.
All right, very good. Thank you. All those in favor of resolution number 60, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 60 is approved. We move to resolution number 61.
Related to 59 and 60, resolution 61 is a request for the board's approval of this professional services agreement for CMCI services for the Highland Reservoir Pump Station project to AECom Technical Services in the amount of $4,164,539. This agreement is for CMCI services for the project. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Erica. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peg. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 61, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 61 is approved. Resolution number 62.
Resolution 62 is a request for the board's approval to enter into a cost share agreement with Domi for the federally funded Charles Anderson Bridge Rehabilitation Project, as well as authorizing the chief executive officer to sign the cost share agreement on behalf of PWSA with Domi. We are also requesting the board approval for the design review and construction inspection to be performed by our internal PWSA engineering and construction staff. This cost share agreement with the city, Domi, as for their Charles Anderson Bridge, which requires adjustments to PWSA's water and sewer infrastructure on Panther Hollow Road, Boulevard of the Allies, Parkview Avenue, and Dawson Street. As Domi's project is funded through federal assistance via PennDOT, this agreement is necessary. For this project, while the estimated total cost of PWSA's utility adjustments is $221,195, the PWSA is responsible for paying $15,500 for all the water and sanitary work only, as the remaining work is all drainage, stormwater related. Domi is responsible for paying for that. Staff recommends that the board approve entering into the cost share agreement.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Audrey Morel.
Thank you, Audrey. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Erica. Any discussion?
Yes, Barry, it looks like this is work that is being done on either side of the bridge and underneath. And I wanted to clarify, is that for the construction phase, or are these permanent infrastructure changes, upgrades, utility upgrades that we're making for when the bridge is reopened? Or is
It's
it both?
specifically in support of their work. It's to advance their modifications that they're doing for both the access approaches to
I
the
see.
bridge.
Okay, so it's
So-
permanent work. It's not
It's
sort of
permanent.
temporary just for the
No.
construction phase. I see. Okay, thank you.
Sounds like from your description, Parkview and Dawson, those are all, and Boulevard, those are all of the streets that lead up to that
Yeah.
bridge. So-
Correct.
Okay.
And
And it
but-
sounds,
I just
go
have a
ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Will those improvements be made in conjunction with the bridge repair, or is it before or after? How does it-
So in this instance, it's going to be done in conjunction with the actual bridge repair work concurrent with.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 62, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution 62 is approved. Resolution number 63, Barry.
Resolution 63 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the 2021 large diameter sewer rehabilitation project to WA Petracus Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $4,388,047. This project includes the rehabilitation of approximately 1,280 feet of existing 72-inch combined brick sewer pipe and the relay of approximately 183 feet of two existing 30-inch water lines located in the south side slopes side neighborhoods within the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peg. Any discussion?
Yes, well, I do not know the South Side Slopes as well as some other neighborhoods, but what I do know about them is that the sewer work there is particularly challenging because I understand some of these lines are buried deeper than you might find in other neighborhoods. And I guess, can you speak to whether you think that this is a conservative enough budgeted amount, given those challenges that we might not even be aware of? When we start digging, we realize it's 30 feet below where we thought it was, or whatnot.
So there was a lot of due diligence done in the preparation of the design plans for this project. So we're comfortable that this budget should be sufficient with a amount of contingency that's appropriate. So I don't anticipate, hopefully we will not see, you won't see me again to ask for more. That is my hope.
Yeah, good.
Good question, Erica. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 63, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 63 is approved. Resolution 64.
Resolution 64 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the 2023 small diameter sewer rehabilitation contract number 1 project to A. Moranti Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $9,376,996. The purpose of our 2023 small diameter sewer rehab contracts are to complete excavated point repairs and manhole repairs as required, as well as the CCTV inspections in preparation for future trenchless rehabilitation of our sewer mains that are less than 36 inches in diameter. To restore our structural integrity, reduce root intrusion, and reduce infiltration and inflow through the installation of cured in place piping. Work to be performed under the 2023 contract number 1 project is located in the Knoxville neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution, I'm sorry. We didn't get there? We didn't get a second?
No.
I thought I heard somebody say, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Back, is there any discussion? Thanks, Deb. All those in favor of resolution number 64, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 64 is approved. Resolution number 65, Barry.
So this is similar to 64. 65 is a request for the award of the capital contract for the construction of contract 2 for the 2023 small diameter sewer rehabilitation to Independent Enterprises Incorporated in the amount of $4,918,669. Work for this particular contract is in the Homewood neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So move.
Mike, for a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? So besides geography, what's the difference between contract 1 and contract 2?
We just split out the different project areas, so there's not significant amount of difference in between each of the projects, very similar scopes for all 3.
But there's a
Really
significant
geographically
difference in
based.
cost, so,
Oh.
right.
Yeah, there's a difference in linear foot. Some of the
Okay.
diameters are different, but that's largely what the differences would be.
Very good. All those in favor of resolution number 65, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 65 is approved. Resolution number 66.
Resolution 66, similar to 64 and 65, is a request for the approval of the capital contract for the construction of contract 3 to SAK Construction LLC in the amount of $4,198,483. This work is specifically within the Carrick neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
So moved, Audrey Morel.
Second.
Second moved and second. Is there any discussion? SAK, they're a new firm that I haven't seen for a while, or are
We
they a
haven't-
different name?
Yeah, it's been a while since they've been used. So,
Okay, we're satisfied they can do the work of this.
yeah, they have the capabilities.
Okay, very good. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor of resolution number 66, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 66 is approved. We move to new business and resolution number 67, Barry.
Resolution 67 is a request for the board's approval of an amendment of a capital contract for CMCI services for the 2022 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Program to AECom in the amount of $396,484.02. The 2022 Neighborhood LSLR program is funded by a $17 million grant from the city of Pittsburgh's American Recovery Plan Acts Fund. Since the start of work, the construction contractor has provided more crews than was anticipated in the original CMCI scope. Additionally, a change order was issued previously to the contractor, increasing their scope of work. The cumulative effect of both of these increases has increased the associated costs for CMCI. The SDP commitment goals should also be noted, 42.6% for this project. Staff would recommend that the board approve this award.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to
Thank you, Peg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, just one question. Could you clarify, is this something there were things that they found that were not in the original scope, or was it a cost issue? I wasn't 100% clear about the key driving force for the change order.
The main thing is really associated with utilizing the full extent of the $17 million of funds. So the contractor had additional crews that they were putting out to complete the work, which meant you had to have additional CMCI present that wasn't anticipated in their original scope. And so in the utilization and completing additional work that the board previously approved, the CMCI was knowingly at some point going to have to increase. So this is that time where we're coming to you for that approval.
Thank you. That was helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 67, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 67 is approved. That concludes the resolutions for today. Is there any other business that come before the board this morning?
If I may, just very briefly, forgot in my remarks to give a plug for an outreach event that we're having for our on-call engineering services contract that will be going back out to bid. We're particularly interested in seeing our diverse and small firms at that event on November 15th. I think we are close to at capacity, so we've had a great response. But if you are an MWBE or VBE or any firm that qualifies under our supplier diversity program, please do go to our website and reach out to Julia Shola, and we'll make sure to find a spot for you. We're excited about that event.
Very good. Any other items? All right, very good. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Audrey Morone.
Thank you. All right. Meeting is adjourned.